Hey guys, it's Alpha Blazing and welcome to what will definitely be a very different style of video. Usually on my channel, I'm just making videos which are basically just me mucking around and just having fun and being in hysterics and raging and just giving commentary, live commentary on the games that I love. But this video is going to be different. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why I haven't been doing YouTube this year, and why this year's just sort of sucked, I suppose, and just explaining why this year's not been great. For a while, I was sort of tempted not to make this video, but then I thought, at some point I'm probably going to accidentally mention it anyway, so may as well make a proper video about it rather than sort of spill it out in all sort of sporadic details over a few episodes, just messing the entire thing up and making it sound completely just, you know, telling the story wrong basically. So I want to do it right, and yeah, I just want this video to just be here so you guys know, and so it'll make sense to you in one sort of big chunk rather than a few separate chunks and different episodes, and it all just makes not much sense at all. And yeah, so I mean, this is the style of video I definitely usually wouldn't employ. So here goes, here's the story of me and why I haven't been doing YouTube this year. So here goes. I'm gonna be breaking this video up into parts, and in this first part I'll be explaining how the first half of the year was basically going fine and what was going on during that half of the year. So at the start of the year, I had, joined a new TAFE and things were going fine. It was a whole new experience. Last year I'd finished high school, and all my friends from high school that I'd, made over the last 5 years were basically just, they went off to a new TAFE, a different one to the one I was going to, and I was sort of the only one from, out of the people from my high school who went to this TAFE. So I mean, that was fine. It was sort of a good thing in a way, because it was sort of a way to sort of branch off from the people I knew and make new friends, which is fun. But obviously I'm still in touch with those people and we still catch up all the time, and it's awesome. But yeah, new TAFE, new experience. I, went in. At first I suppose I was a little shy, but if I'm being honest, I was probably more confident than I was in my first day at high school. So I reckon I made a pretty decent first impression and things were going great. I already made about 3 close friends by the end of the first term, so that was fun and things were going awesome there. And I was still in my basketball team, and I have been for, a solid 4 years as well. And, we've been climbing the ladder of our, competition, and things were going awesome. And also, I was probably still doing YouTube at that time, although as you imagine, my schedule was obviously messed up, as it always has been. It's not been great. My schedule has never been very consistent, and I'm trying to work on that. I really am. It's just difficult for me, having life, friends, stuff to, do, and then there's just YouTube and editing and, all that sort of jack. It's just a lot to keep on top of. Anyway, and I was, just hanging out with friends and things were going great. In April, Joker came out, which was awesome, and all of my friends and me were obsessed with Joker for the first, 2 months that he was out. I reckon it took us a few months to stop being completely obsessed with him. Obviously, we all still love him as a character, but I'm getting off track here. And in May, it was my birthday. The 1st of May was my birthday, which was awesome, and I didn't have my party on that day, but that was still a great day. And on my birthday party, it was also amazing because, all my friends were there, all my family friends, and all the people who had, supported me, helped me, and, been my friends throughout my 18 years alive on this earth, were there, and it was great. And I made a speech, and it was all fun. And then, I don't know, everything else was going fine. I'm just trying to think of what else I was doing. Unfortunately, I'll tell you what was weird. The transition from TAFE other way around, from high school to TAFE was also quite bizarre, because basically in high school, during breaks and stuff, I'd always just be playing basketball out on the court and whatever, but this, new TAFE, they didn't have any sort of spot to play basketball. I mean, there was a park sort of a bit ways down. I don't know, it wasn't that far a walk, but it's sort of weird. But anyway, and also the friends I'd made, they weren't really big into sports and stuff, which kind of sucked, but what can you do? Not everyone likes what you do. So we didn't play that much, which sort of wasn't great, but whatever. And yeah, so I just had a lot more energy during class time, because I was so used to during high school just trying to, just playing basketball and burning off most of my energy just doing that. And now, I was not. So that was definitely a big change. And then around sort of, I don't know, late May, sort of early June, we noticed in my vision that it had sort of taken a downward spiral, and it was sort of slightly worse. And I mean, it wasn't major, but it was definitely something. It was affecting me, like it was affecting my ability to do assignments and work at TAFE. It was affecting my performance while I was doing basketball. It was affecting my social life and independence for traveling and stuff like that. It was slightly annoying. But in the grand scheme of things, it was nothing compared to what I had to come, what I was, yet to experience. And yeah, in June, things got as bad as they could go. At the beginning of one of my basketball games, I was practicing with all of my, teammates, and basically, one of the balls rebounded and hit me on the head. And I wasn't knocked out, but basically what happened next was kind of surprising, because it wasn't immediate. I played the game, we did fine, although my vision was really blurry during the game, which wasn't good, and I definitely didn't play very well at all, and I was kind of annoyed at myself, but then what can you do? But then, later on in the night, my head was aching as much as you could imagine it, like 10 out of 10 more or less pain, maybe 9 out of 10, I don't know, but pretty damn bad. So I went into my parents' room to, explain to them the pain I was having, and I sort of had this weird sort of blockage in my throat. I don't know if that makes sense, but it sort of had a weird sort of clog in my throat, and I could hardly speak. And I tried to, I was just out the front of their door, and I was trying to say something's wrong with my head or something along those lines, and then I just vomited. And then, after that, obviously my parents took me straight to the hospital, and we figured out I'd had a migraine. And that's only the start of how things got really bad. I was in the hospital for 5 days, and it wasn't a fun time. Every time I tried to do anything, get out of bed, or even move an inch, I just got a massive wave of pain throughout my entire body. So the migraine was really bad, and it caused these massive waves of pain every time I did any sort of movement. So every time I tried to go to the toilet or do anything along those lines, I basically just got a massive surge of pain throughout my entire body. Imagine a massive water bucket was splashed over your head and saturated you every time you did anything, any kind of movement, except that the water in that bucket was just a surge of pain. That's what it was like. So I was in there for 5 days, and I was on a saline drip, and I was just really trying to just get through that, and I feel like I did an okay job for the amount of pain that I was in. And yeah, I thought everything was just sort of going to be okay after that migraine, but that wasn't the case at all. What the real shock was that my vision had taken a massive plummet downwards. A lot of fluid had come into my eye, because I've got this weird thing with me where basically I've got too many blood vessels, and some of them are behind my eyes, and sometimes they use fluid. It's happened before, except not quite on this scale. So this time they had oozed heaps of fluid, and it was between my retina and the rest of my eye. And if you're not sure about what the retina is, it's basically the camera lens of your eye. Basically, it basically comprehends what you see, and then your brain, understands it and then relays it back. And obviously this all happens stupidly fast, but it happens ridiculously fast. But yeah, that's basically what it does. And yeah, my retina had a lot of fluid in front of it, and it wasn't transparent or had the consistency of water. It was basically, I don't know what color it was, and I never will, I think, but what you need to know is that it had the consistency of honey, and it made it feel like I basically couldn't really see that well at all. It was terrible. So it had the consistency of honey, and I went to a retinologist, which is basically eye specialist who specializes in the retina part of the eye, and he sort of, said that we had to do this kind of therapy, which was a surgery where basically I had this sort of weird dye injected into me, and from there they would get this special laser and shoot the blood vessels in my eye, and they'd stop oozing the fluid. And the weird thing about the dye is it had a real it had a trigger to sunlight. Like if it was touched by sunlight too harshly, like too directly, it would cause burns to anyone who had it in them. So if I just was, if I had my arms exposed, like if I was wearing a t-shirt and I went outside after 3 days, any time between 3 days after the operation, I would have burnt up, and I would have just had to go back to the hospital for, because I would have pretty much 3rd-degree burns, I'm pretty sure, and it would be quite serious. So obviously I had to take that seriously, and I had to try and dodge sunlight at all costs, always wearing a hoodie. And what was even worse was the days that I was, condemned to be inside and not touch sunlight. Those days were warm. Those days were quite warm, and that's not really a problem for me, because I'm quite good when it comes to dealing with heat. I have a knack for it, and I have a knack for the reverse. I can't stand the cold. I hate it, but I can deal with the heat quite well. So, and it's not like I was too hot or anything. It was fine. It was more to the point, like, why can't I be outside enjoying the days like everyone else, sitting outside by our pool, on a lounger, soaking up the rays and going in the pool or whatever, and just going out and seeing friends on these lovely days. But I couldn't, because I was condemned to the house, which was terrible. So I tried my best to, even when I wasn't having these operations, I was still pretty much condemned to the house, because I couldn't really do anything independently. I couldn't even walk down the street without bumping into a tree or doing anything. It really tore away at me and stripped me of my independence for a long time. So eventually the vision got so bad that I pretty much had to give up on the idea of me going on the train and, trying to get transport and traveling to TAFE, and I had to do it all from home, and I needed help because obviously I couldn't see the screen, and thank God that my TAFE work was mostly online, because that would have made things a lot worse, because then I'd have to have all the paperwork and everything sent out to my place, and that would have been weird and all complicated to sort out. But thank God it was online and it was easy and stuff. So I needed help from people to do my work, and even when I had spare time, it's not like I could go out and just do whatever I pleased. I sort of was condemned to my house. I was, trying to do things that I enjoyed doing to keep my mind off it and try and just not be too afraid of what the future had in store. And I was listening to audiobooks, I was playing video games, although obviously I couldn't really see very well, so it wasn't nearly as fun as it had any right to be. And what you need to understand about my situation was my condition was so rare that nobody knew if I was going to come out of it alright. I was in a cloud of confusion about whether I was even going to be able to see like I used to again. And they knew nothing. They knew if I was going to come out okay. They didn't know if I, wasn't going to come out okay. And they didn't know how long it might take until we had some sort of answer to which one. So basically, I was just stuck in solitude in a cloud of mystery, and there was this massive fog patch over my life in more than one sense, because I also had to get this oil into my eye because the fluid that had oozed in from my vessels had caused a separation from my retina and the rest of my eye, so I had to get this sort of oil that acted as a glue or adhesive, which helped it stay in place. And I thought it would be out by now. I'm speaking and recording this on the 23rd of December, and I thought it would be out by now, but it's not. But I'm pretty damn sure it's going to be out by next year, 2020, in January. So I hope so, I really do, because there's a lot of stuff I need to do next year. I've got plans, and I really hope I can get stuff done by that point. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so the oil was there, and it basically, as soon as I got that oil in, I basically couldn't really see nearly as well. Like before, my vision was bad already, and then it just got worse. Like imagine a massive fog patch over the central part of your vision, and the rest of your vision, the peripheral, wasn't much good either. That's what I was stuck with. And I'd say I got the oil in around, let's say, I don't know, let's say sort of late August. And then, through that I was okay, and, I went on this trip to the States, and that helped, and with my family. And then November time, I had a few of more of those operations to get the fluid out, because the oil was there, but then so was the fluid, and my vessels needed to recover, and my central vision was blocked. So it basically just formed this massive saga of problems that had compiled together to form this massive issue that basically seemed unsolvable. And I mean, things now are a lot better, but at the time I was incredibly sad, and I didn't even know if I was going to come out of it alright. So it was a really rough time for me, and I'm glad I'm sort of through the worst of it, but it was not easy, let me assure you. And I really hope I don't have to experience anything similar like that again. And the problem is, I don't know if I will or I won't, because my vision is that sporadic and that hard to, and nobody knows much about anything because my problem's that kind of rare. So it's not been easy, and it's just not been fun at all. It's been 6 months since the incident that first started it. It was all started with a basketball hitting me on the head. It's weird to think about that. And after that point, you would imagine me to be afraid of the concept to even step on a basketball court ever again, but it had never happened before. I've had migraines before, that's what you need to understand. I'd had them before. I think the last one I had was about 5 years ago or something, and every time I've had a migraine, it had never caused this massive surge of fluid behind my eye, so this was a whole new thing. And that's why it was so surprising, and why I thought I was going to be okay after the migraine. But I suppose the whole concept that my vision was going sort of bad from the beginning, sort of not even at June, sort of well before June, sort of April time, sort of April, May time, my vision was sort of not that great, and everyone sort of, my family knew it and all the rest of it. And I mean, I could still do stuff, but not nearly quite as well as I used to be. And I guess that might have been an indicator. I don't know if this massive surge of fluid would have happened without the migraine, so this whole scenario is beyond anybody, and it's out of everyone's depth, so nobody knows anything, and neither do I. So it's all been hard, and I really am glad that I'm out of it now, but I never want to have to deal with anything like this ever again. Now, a lot of this video has been very sort of depressing and very sad, and talking about how this year's been sort of terrible, but now I can move on to the more sort of, upbeat and very sort of like me sort of style of video sort of thing, if you understand what I mean. So in this section, I'm talking more about the upbeat and the future and what I'm looking forward to, and how I feel like next year is going to be great. So it's been 6 months and things have been rough, but last checkup I had, it was 2 checkups ago with the retinologist actually, and basically what happened was things were looking sort of average. You know, I went back and I sort of felt bad. And then the next checkup afterwards, it was only 3 weeks later, he noticed a massive difference in my vision and in the amount of fluid that's behind my eye. And it went drastically down. And that's a great thing, as you can probably gather, because in the video I explained how, you know, obviously the whole, you know, oil thing, having the fluid behind my eye was a bad thing, and now having it gone is obviously an excellent thing. Obviously the oil is still there, and I'm sure it's coming out in January. I'm pretty damn sure it's coming out in January, and if that's the cause for why my vision's patchy and foggy like this, and then it goes, God, you will not believe how excited I'll be. I will be starting up YouTube almost instantly afterwards. I will be getting on track with everything, and it will all be great. I'm also looking forward to next year because I'm doing senior year at TAFE. I've got this new course that I'm doing. It's a digital arts course with a gaming company, and it's going to be really cool, designing game characters for a gaming company, and, you know, doing a bit of coding and other cool stuff, and I reckon that'll help me out with YouTube and stuff a fair bit, because that's all on the sort of same track. So yeah, lots of awesome stuff to look forward to there. I mean, obviously, I actually got this new baseball bat. I mean, this is kind of off topic, but I got this new baseball bat for my birthday with some of the money I got, and it's a really nice one, and I've been wanting to use it for ages, but I couldn't, because pretty much as soon as I got it, the incident happened, and basically I couldn't, which was terrible. So it's been 6 months since I have it, and I haven't used it once properly, because obviously my vision went bad, and that's all that happened, and that's the story, yo. So basically I can't wait to use that with some friends and beat the crap out of a ball and just, you know, blast my you know, emotions away of the past 6 months with that bat. You know, beat the crap out of my emotions in, you know, theory, because imagining the ball's the emotions, and you get it. And also, you know, there are so many games that have come out recently that have basically I couldn't have played properly and have my proper take on them with my bad vision. So Pokemon Sword, and, you know, obviously actually Mario Maker came out a bit before my vision went completely terrible. I managed to get one video recorded, and I'm still working on that recording, and I've actually almost edited it all, and it's all good and grand and dandy. But, you know, the main games coming out that I really want to have my take on are Pokemon Sword, and I do want to start my my Super Mario Maker 2 series. I want that up and running, and I just want to get YouTube I want to schedule down pat, and I feel like 2020 is going to be that year, because when my vision goes bad, I don't feel like it'll go, you know, when it gets better, because it's been bad and now it's going to get better, I don't think it'll go worse for a real damn while, because I've had such a rough patch with it, and I realized that 2019 has sort of been a rough year, despite, you know, me turning 18 and all that sort of jazz. You know, despite all that, I feel like 2019 has been rather rough towards me, so I feel like with that, 2020 has a lot of good things in store for me, and everything's going to be all great and grand with the world. And I don't know if my friends from last year at TAFE are going to be doing TAFE again. I actually haven't kept in contact with them about that sort of stuff, but I would be curious about it and would like to know. But anyway, if they are, that's even more grand and great. Unfortunately, my friends from high school, they are adamant not to join my TAFE, and they're doing their own sort of course thing, which makes sense. They're sort of doing their thing, but they're still sticking together, which kind of annoys me a little. But anyway, what are you going to do? That's them and their choice, and I can't really come between that. But yeah, there's so much stuff for me to look forward to. There's so many great things happening, and so many great things coming up. This has been the video of why I haven't been doing YouTube, and I hope it has given you a really good understanding of why I haven't been doing it, and it gives you an idea of what I've been going through on more of a personal level as well. I'm also hoping that you're excited about the games that I'm going to be, you know, coming up with on the channel. You know, games like Pokemon Sword, and also Super Mario Maker 2, and lots more as well that I can't think of at the moment. And I mean, I really just want to, YouTube won't be starting up immediately just because I've made this video, and I'll let you guys know when that happens. But this is the end of the video, so this is Alpha Blazing, fire away!